Let me know when you are here. It's been a hot minute since I did a live stream, so we'll just go with the flow here. I'm probably a little out of practice, but I just thought it would be fun to come on and hang out if you're here, as well as paint some back to school rocks. Be fun to paint some back to school rocks, I thought. So that's what we're going to do. And I want to do an old design that I can't remember how many years ago, but these little pencil designs. So I've got some rocks here. I am going to use my Tule Art brush pens for these. So I'm going to pull out some pencil colored, let's see, I think yellow would be useful. This one's going to be useful for the wood. There's silver in here somewhere for the little metal part. And pink, I think, and then black. So I think this will get us through some of them. And we will get started. Looks like we've got 12 of you out there. Yay, welcome. Let me set these pens off to the side and get out of the way. Hello, hi Joanna, hi Tammy. Good to see you. So out of practice. I'm just doing my phone here. Hi Whitney. Whimsy. I'm gonna assume you're a Whitney, but welcome. You're a beginning rock painter. Yay, you're our favorite person. We love beginners. I'm gonna shake these pens up off to the side because these pens don't require priming except for the shaking. Good morning, Diane and Deborah. Good to see you. Shake these up a little bit. Sometimes the little doohickey inside, the little shaker thing, gets stuck, so I bang them. So that's probably what you're hearing. A couple of them, actually. And then once it's loose, it shakes away beautifully. Good morning, Diane. Good to see you. Hi, Nicolina. Oh, cool. We have so many new people this morning. That's so awesome. Yay. We love having new people around. That's awesome. Awesome. I'm also going to be operating without a base coat this morning, just because I don't want to wait for it to dry. So like I said, this design is from a couple of years ago, I think. Make sure I've got good light over here. It's these kind of chunky fat pencils. I put it on the thumbnail for the live, but we'll see. So instead of drawing kind of a perfect straight line pencil, it has sort of a curved, and I am going to be all over the place with size on this. This is a soapstone pencil. So I love my soapstone pencil so much because it can help you line out your designs. And you can see my spacing is very crummy this morning. So I'm going to kind of make this rounded sides, and then we're going to have a pencil tip point up here. Like this, and then this will be that little silver band kind of. And then the eraser is going to be kind of curved and chunky also. So this gives us kind of the outline of the design. Happy Sunday, welcome. Yes, the soapstone pencil is this is one of my favorite tools. This one is from Happy Dotting Company. I really like supporting her. She's a small business, I think in Australia. She is on Amazon. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Of course, it would come on now. But I believe she's in Australia. She does all of the dotting tools. My numbered dotting tools are also from her, like a whole dotting tool set like this, where they're numbered. They're really helpful because they're numbered when you're doing mandalas, which I haven't done a mandala in forever. I need a little piece of paper to scribble this on. So yeah, I like supporting the small businesses if I can. They are on Amazon. You can get them from other sellers, probably a little cheaper, but I like supporting the small businesses. So I'm just gonna test this on paper a little bit, and it's working. So yellow pen is working, and then we're gonna go and fill it in. So like I said, we're operating without a base coat, which is not the end of the world, but it will mean we probably need a couple of coats here to get what we want. And this is also going to be wavy like this, because the pencil shavings, like when you sharpen it, and then I'm just going to fill in, and we will come back and give it good solid coverage, because you can see this isn't quite, because it's a dark rock, not quite the coverage we completely want. So that's okay. So we're just going to move around through the different colors, let that dry. Morning, Mary Jane. Morning, Lisa. 2%. I love it. I love your little stickers. That's so awesome. Let's see. I'm going to do this. Nope, that's yellow. I'm going to do this color. This is kind of the pencil wood. That's going to be my next thing we'll put on here. And I already can see where my point of my pencil is not as wide as my pencil. So I'm going to kind of correct that here like this. And I'm actually going to do the whole point, because we can come around with the black tip and just go over this, because this is such a light color. But I want to get the shape all together here. And also this kind of wiggly look. Just as a guide, this tip part will be black. So again, we're just kind of getting that first coat on, making sure everything is all together. And since my yellow's still drying, I'm going to go to pink on the eraser next for this one, because you can see the yellow paint was still a little wet, and when I went near it with the wood colored paint, it started to bleed a little bit. So we're just going to work back and forth. Oh, this is a perfect eraser color. Perfect. So back to school snuck up on me. And I have not gotten any new tutorials out. I just realized I need to make sure that the back to school playlist gets put on the homepage of the channel, so you can access all the old videos of different back to school designs. And then maybe I think I can get a new one out this week. I've been working on one. So, okay, you can see the shininess. So I have wet paint in various places here. So what I'm going to do, and this is what I often do when I'm painting at home, I'm going to move on and let this dry up here, and I'm going to work on another one while that one is drying. I'm trying to see where's the least amount of cracks on this one. This is going to test my brain power, because I'm going to go the opposite direction. Oh, soapstone pencil still works well. But we're going to go kind of the opposite. It's pointing the other way, which makes my brain itch. Like, that must be a right brain, left brain thing. You want to try this, but you think you need drawing skills. I mean, I would say this is a pretty simple, if you stop and think about it maybe as shapes, like this is kind of almost a football shape, right? And then I'm going to just put a small little rectangle down here for the silver part, and then the eraser. So if you think about it in pieces, that might help if you're feeling intimidated and that you need drawing skills. Most of my designs are pretty simple, because I don't feel like I am an artist. I've said that for years. I don't feel like a real artist. And then you guys all come at me and correct me, and I appreciate it. But like, I can't do realism. Like, I couldn't draw a person and make it look like a person. I could draw a stick person. I could draw happy faces, but it's just not my, I don't consider myself a great artist. So I think you can do it. That's just me. So just think of this as kind of like a football. And then we're going to do wavy, 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 wavy. Here comes the corrections. I certainly am a real artist. Well, thank you. And I think, I shouldn't say that. That's terrible for like the kinds of things I try and encourage you guys with, I guess. Because art is all kinds of things, right? It's not just the people that can draw portraits really well and make it look real. Art is all kinds of things. So you're absolutely right. We are all artists. And the different mediums, right? Like 10 or 15 years ago, who would have thought so many of us would be creating art on rocks of all things? It's kind of cool, right? Oh, my lettering. Thank you. I feel like my lettering, it's the result of many years of practice. I am approaching, let's see, 10 years of doing this? 9 years. I think this fall will be 9 years that I've been painting rocks. So it's been a lot of years, and it was not great at the beginning. I have always liked to doodle and draw things, and so that may be part of it. Like I like messing around with my writing, but doing it on a rock is a different beast than doodling on paper. And you have texture and shape, and you've got these domed things. Oh, you're asking about the markers. So I use lots of different things, but these are my latest favorites. So these are Art brush pens, but they're their new set that has automatic flow control. And so the only priming that you have to do for these is to shake them, and then it just comes out, and it has really good flow because of this automatic flow technology. I don't know if I can fit the box in the frame, but this is what this one looks like. Let me see if I can pull back a little bit. So it's these Art acrylic brush pens. Silver. This set has so many colors in it. Like I think you could have everything you need. There's a variety, kind of some pastels, some brights. It's got just about everything you could need, especially if you're starting out. And I just love the technology in there is amazing. That makes them so juicy, which is often a challenge, I guess, with the paint pens, is getting enough paint out or they dry up. And so far, these have been wonderful. And I hope that they come out. Right now, they only have 2 color sets of these. It's this essential set, and then there's an earth tone set. And I'm really, really hoping that they will come out with their neon set, because I love their neon pens. And I would just probably buy 2 sets of those if they come out with them. Okay, I'm going to switch back and forth. Let's put some silver on this pencil, and then we can start filling some of the stuff in. I always get the sniffles when I get on here. Like, I never fails. So this is that little band of silver holding your eraser and the pencil. So now it's starting to look like a little pencil. So yeah, like I said, back to school snuck up on me. Our local school district starts next week, but Sammy, the only one we have left in school, our youngest, starts tomorrow. He's going to a different school a little bit further away. He'll get to ride the bus, but he starts tomorrow, bright and early. I think the bus is coming at 6:30 in the morning, 6:40, I think the bus is coming. So it's going to be an early morning, but he's very excited to start middle school, and he's going to be going to a much smaller school. So his class of 6th graders, there are only 10 of them, which is awesome, I think. My husband and I both went to very tiny, small, rural schools, so it's kind of a full circle moment for us. So I think it's going to be a good experience for him because he'll know everybody and the teachers are all great. We went to a back to school barbecue last week and it was really nice. Everybody is very friendly and kind, and he'll get to be involved in a lot more things. So that's cool. Okay, so a lot of times when I have brush strokes, you see I have brush strokes going across. To even those out, I'll often switch the direction of the pen to try and help with the coverage, see if we can kind of make those go away to a degree. May or may not work. And again, if I had put a base coat down of gesso or white paint, that would have helped with this, where you have nice solid coverage. But these pens are just great. And the other thing I like about them is you could take them on the go. And I'm going to let this dry a little closer to the wood because I want to clean up my squiggly after this. And then while we have the yellow out, we'll come back over here. So let's test the other theory. Let's test going horizontally and see if that does a better job getting rid of the brush strokes. Let's see. You went to a big school and barely knew anybody. Okay, you're having trouble with brush strokes with acrylic paints. It seems no matter what brush I use, I'm battling the appearance of brush strokes. Any suggestions? So if you're using craft paint, I'm assuming, since you didn't say markers, you might want to try thinning out the paint a little bit. I'm wondering if the paint is thick and that's why you're getting some brush strokes. When it's thicker, it kind of leaves like the consistency is more prone for the brush strokes to show. So that would be my main thing. You could also kind of dampen your brush and run it through to try and even them out. And then I have one more suggestion, but I have to stop what I'm doing so I can grab it and show it to you. Hold on one second. Get this filled in. Another thing you could do while the paint is still a little bit damp is if you can find any spongy tools like this, or even, where my makeup sponges are. Oh, I do have a piece of one right here. The little makeup wedges that you can buy in the drugstore like this. You could take this and kind of take it over the brush strokes and just dab it like this, and it kind of mushes them and evens them out a little bit. That would be another tip to try. Just knocking everything down. Okay, so which one? I think actually going in the same direction as my original lines did a better job of getting rid of the strokes. So whoopsie doopsie there. My original advice was bad. All right, let's darken up our pink eraser here. You have the Posca pens. Okay. So Thule, I think, is very similar to Posca. The reason I gravitate more towards them is I think they have slightly better coverage. I don't think it's like land breaking, but there's slightly better coverage. And then the other thing about them is that they're more affordable, in my opinion, than Posca. Posca is pricey. So if you're looking to get many, and I like that Thule has, they like curate different colored sets. Yes, more opaque is what I would say. They have better coverage. I feel like I have to do more coats with Posca. And again, the affordability factor just comes in there, where I think they are more affordable in sets. They have some unique sets that are like, there's one set we have for our local rock group that is double-sided. It has a broad tip pen on one end and then a fine tipped on the other so that you can do different things. So, and then they curate different sets with like colors, like there's blues, there's a set of reds and pinks, there's the earth tones, there's the neon. So I like their color combos. Posca has started doing that too, but so I am a little bit more partial to the Thule. The main Poscas that I keep now that I use, because Thule doesn't have something like that, is these PC1MR pens. And these I use for writing and for outlining because of this unique tip. They're just really awesome for writing and doing outlines. So those are kind of the only Poscas that I really buy anymore. And no shame to them. I think Posca was probably the kind of the main first one in the game. And then now there's lots of brands. Like I think a lot of people also use Artistro is another brand. So I think, and then Sharpie now has paint pens also that a lot of people really like. So I think there's a lot of different brands getting in the game. So that can help with the affordability factor, I think, when you have competition. And I think the Sharpies are probably, they're affordable, and then you can often get them in a store. So like Thule, you have to order them online on Amazon or from their website. Poscas are around in some stores, like art stores, and like I think Michael's now carries Poscas. But and the Sharpies you can also find in stores. So if you really wanted to like go grab it with your own hands and take it home, Walmart has the Sharpies. I don't think Walmart carries the Poscas. I have not tried Grabby. That's Grabby. Is that how you say it? That's how I'm reading it. Yeah, I think, and I almost wonder too if it's like, you know how medications and patents, like there's a brand name medication that's really expensive until the patent, you know, until they're allowed to make generics. And I wonder if that's kind of what's happening with the paint pens, that maybe there's patents that have expired and now more brands can get in the game, and they are, which is for us as artists a good thing, because it means competition means that'll, you know, prices will be competitive, and they might also be striving to have the best product to have us buy their product. So I think in the long run it's probably good news for us. Ah, okay. So you're teaching some kiddos how to do rock painting, and you're looking further. And you know what? The paint pens are really good for kids, I think, too, because they're used to holding a pen, you know, in school. And so I think that's a really great option for the kiddos. That's a little easier to manipulate, say, than like a paintbrush if they're kind of beginning artists. So yeah, I think that's a great plan. And I own too many pens. I get excited about the colors, and then I buy them, and I'm like, like I have to do one of those. What is it? I see lots of journalers in the planner community doing like the no spend. Not like I'm buying them every month, but like use what you have, basically. Use what's in your supplies. And like use it up. And I need to try doing that at some point, because I definitely have lots of supplies. Let's see. But awesome. So I'm going to fix these squigglies. Are just all kinds of, this pencil, the squigglies are not looking, they're kind of crooked. So I'm going to try and fix this a little, kind of even it out. A little bit. There, that kind of helped. Now I've got more brush lines to clear up. So I really like these pens because you can lay them flat like I'm doing to get good coverage, or you can use the tip to get kind of fine point coverage. So they are pretty neat. I don't think you can do too detail-y work because they are kind of more broad tipped than not. So if you're going to do super detail-y work, these are probably not the pens you want to use, but they're so portable. They're so juicy. So I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, my squiggles have been fixed on this one. Let's see, let's add some more wood maybe to this one. less worried about getting this solid and opaque down by the tip because we're going to put black down there, so less worried about that. Oh, you have some older friends that are looking to learn as well. And do you guys have local rock painting groups? Because the local rock painting groups are another good place to learn and do some of these things. Our local group, we try and have paint parties kind of once a quarter if we can keep up to it. And that has been a place where newer people also are learning from the more seasoned rock painters. We've never really set them up as like a workshop, like to teach a certain design or a certain something, but that has been talked about. Okay, so now we added a little bit of pencil tip. Now it's really looking like a pencil. I can't do that to the other one just yet because it is still drying. Let me even out. Yes, the eyeliner brushes are really awesome for fine line work. Also, the detail nail art brushes I really like for they're even finer than the eyeliner brushes. I'm trying to see, do I have one? I have an eyeliner brush here. These are the disposable eyeliner brushes. They're just little brushes. They come in like a pack of 100. So those are really good for fine line work. I don't dispose of them after a single use. I use them till they die. And then also if you use them for glitter paint or anything else, they are handy. And then the detail nail art brushes are like this. They're super duper fine. So really, really fine. And then I think they come in like a pack of 6 with different lengths. So they're short all the way to like longer ones. So those are handy too. Yeah, the local rock painting groups are fun. A lot of people will post found rocks there in your area. So that's another thought. Oops, I've got a fuzz on there. Our oldest son moved out last month into his first apartment, and so the cat isn't here anymore, which means less crazy hairs everywhere, which is not terrible. I do kind of miss her though, even though she was cranky and moody. I do miss the kitty cat. But I still find her hairs randomly in the weirdest places. Let's see. So on the original design of these, I had little flowers. So we are still going to do some little flowers on these. Let me find some fun colors for some flowers. We'll do maybe a lavender. And then we'll need a green for a sleeve. Maybe we'll do lavender and like a purple, like a dark purple. We'll do 2 colors of flowers. I did have somebody, I think it was last year, when I was making little backpacks for back to school. And she said, what about designs for boys? And it made me realize that I often gravitate towards girly colors and girly designs. And I was like, well, I am a girl, so that's probably why, but so I'm always conscious. So maybe we'll do 1 pencil without flowers and 1 pencil with flowers here. But for the flowers, what I'm going to do is we're going to extend a little bit off the top of the pencil. So kind of think of circles. Is all you got to do is maybe a little bit of an uneven circle. And then we'll put one here. And then we're going to take this darker pen and put one in between. And it's okay that we're swirling some of that lighter purple paint in because that gives us the appearance of petals. So I'm going to go and kind of create some here as well. So we've got a little bit of dimension there with colors. Sorry, the camera is struggling to focus. So I'm going to swirl in some there. And I'm going to let that dry because we're going to add some more detail to it. You can also do different sizes, like smaller ones, bigger ones, however you need to do it. But we will add some more definition to that. And so while that is drying, I'm going to take my Posca PC1MR and outline this one. So you'll see why I like these so much. It gives just the right size line to kind of make designs pop. So that's one side. Sorry, I can't talk and line at the same time. Okay, so you can see how that just makes everything pop big time. Let me grab a drink real quick. And then I still have to be careful. I still do this. I will stick my fingers in the wet paint pen even after it's gone. So sometimes I move around where I'm doing my outlining too, so that I don't completely smear something, because it has happened. Okay. And then this eraser kind of goes off the side of the rock a little bit. We will get like that. And then we'll come down and get our little squigglies. This will also help even the squiggles out a little bit if they aren't exactly perfect. And there we go. We have part of the pen or the pencil outlined. Now, you could keep going with the Posca, but I'm going to do, what did I do with that pen? This guy. These are a little harder to find. This is a Sakura Pigma fine line brush pen, I think is what it's called, but it's like a little brush pen and it can do really, really fine lines. And so the reason I like this is going to take forever to dry. I'm going to put it in front of my fan. One sec. It's really wet. But the reason I'm going to do this finer line pen is you'll see, let's go this way, how fine these lines can be. So the Posca is not quite this fine, right? It's just, and then I'm also going to do them from here. So little line up the pencil, little line. Oops, that one's a little thicker, but kind of with the same shape of, there's a very strange alarm going off in the house and I don't know why. Kind of the curvature of the pencil, like that. And we have a little chunky fat pencil. How cute is that? All right. Oh, bye, Diane. Have a great time in Temecula. That will be awesome. Yes, little lines is satisfying for sure. It definitely is. Okay, now I got this guy to dry a little bit on our flowers. So I am going to also add some little squigglies. I'm not going to do leaves necessarily, but I'm going to add some little greenery squigglies here, like this. Okay, like that. And then to give a little more dimension to those flowers, I'm going to use this brush pen again, and I'm going to kind of do swirlies. Swirlies, is that an appropriate word? Yes, with back to school. Kind of swirlies and kind of lining in those petals a little bit, and that gives it a little bit more dimension so that it looks like flowers. And then we can outline this pencil as well. And we will be all set. So you can see right here, there's a little bit of bumpiness, unevenness between the shape here with the tip of the pencil, the wood, and then the yellow part. So this is where you're outlining kind of, gosh, I wish I could get the camera to focus better here. Let's see if I go up higher. This is where you can use outlining to help even that out into more of a smooth line, let's say. So there are different little ways to catch the little imperfections and kind of smooth them out. And outlining is one of those kind of like finishing touches that can do sort of that for you. And then go down. The same thing on this side. Whoops. Fill that in a little bit. And then we'll do our squiggles. I feel like my hand is in the way on all of these. So this pencil probably more appealing to a teacher or a little girl. We are going to try and go, the last couple of years, we have left rocks at the little bus stop where Sammy used to ride the bus for his elementary school, because there's 2 little girls in the neighborhood that used to get on there with him. So I thought we should go leave a couple rocks for them for the first day of school next week, since they start a week later than he does. But I think it'd be a nice little surprise for them to find him right there at the bus stop. But all right, let's add some detail lines here. I am kind of, I don't know if you noticed it on the other one, that I do it kind of curved because a pencil is round, right? So this kind of helps give that, and then maybe straight here and then curving the other direction here. It gives kind of that round look. And then we'll add some lines coming up from here. And you've got a little pencil, 2 little pencils. So you could write something on it. You could make a little banner across this one, like welcome back. Sometimes I write stuff on the backs, like little fun messages, like the aliens that I did last week. I love the little saying I saw on Pinterest that said, I hope aliens believe in me too. So I put that on the back of those rocks. So yeah, you can just have fun with them. And so we painted a couple back to school rocks together today. Thank you for hanging out. I need to get back into the live streams more often, but we're going to be traveling. Next weekend we'll be traveling for powwow. And then I'll have to make an effort for the rest of August to do some live streams, because every weekend in September, we're going to be traveling for a powwow. So I won't be able to do any live streams unless I do different days. I have thought about that. Like, I know everybody's in very different time zones, so I don't know if I could do like a Friday night one, not during powwow season because we'd be gone, but there might be room to do some on an evening maybe. And then if you're in the wrong time zone, maybe you just have to watch the replay. I'm not sure. But anyhow, I will link the original tutorial for these because I feel like I could have stood to watch it before I made these again. But I will link them to this video. Right now, for me, it is 9:55 in the morning. You can always think I'm same time as California time where I live, but so some people I know are in different countries and are almost opposite time zones as me. Some, it might be nighttime right now. So yeah, it's hard. Like I can't make it perfect for everybody, but maybe I should be a little better about variety so that, we catch people at different times. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or rest of your evening, depending on where you are, and keep spreading that kindness. And I will see you next time. Everybody take care. Bye.